for people who are unfamiliar with the film, can you just give me a brief description of what it's about?
It's the love story between two women that lives basically make other people believe that they are just neighbors, but they are actually long-time lovers in a small town in southern France. And as usually in films, something bad happens, and they all picture, the old game they play in hiding goes wrong, and we try to follow and see what they're going to be ready to do to make it still work somehow.
And to add something, it's also about how the family
Yes.
reacts.
You're right.
And how the family deals with the knowledge of when that comes out. Yeah.
Thank you, Barbara.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it seems so simple, but it's actually quite layered. When you describe it, you can describe it in a sentence, but there's so much more to it. And there are these moments, to skip ahead a little bit, but these moments that I felt like you're watching two teenagers sneak around on their parents when it's actually quite the opposite.
That's great that you
That's
thought
great.
that.
Really, that's great.
We've never heard that one, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I'm really happy to hear that, because
Yes, me too.
that was one of the things I was really looking for. At the end of the film, you forgot, hopefully that was the goal, you forgot about the age or the sexual orientation of Nina and Madeleine. It's just a love story, that was very important for me. And also I'm very happy that you were surprised by the way, the path that the story is going, because that was also another kind of bet we had with my co-writer. Are we going to keep the audience engaged?
Where did the story originate from? Is it something from real life, or is this just from your imagination?
It's a story is always a collage of different things. The story of the film is made up. We invented it with my co-writer, with Malisamba Borasmi. But the first idea to tell that kind of story, the first need to tell that kind of story goes back a long way for me, since in my teenage years, there were two people that were very important for me, since they are the people that passed on to me the passion for cinema. They were lending me over home video cassette of wonderful directors that actually made me understand that I love cinema. And when I was like 16, 17, 18, son. And so they went through very difficult things at that time, and I was really touched by it. I was really, really hard for me to see that. And I always thought that if one day I had the possibility to reach an audience, I would have loved to tell that kind of story as kind of an homage to those people that are so important to me. And so then so after I had this idea, and then in my everyday life, I guess I'm kind of hunting for metaphor, since that's what I do. I make images at the very end. So I'm always trying to find the right way, the right angle, something that I can show, and it will tell something about what is going on inside the characters. And so one day I'm in Verona, which, by the way, Romeo and Juliet town, it's quite oddly, or rightly so. Visiting a friend, since I grew up in the Venetian area. So I'm visiting a friend, and his neighbor are two women that became widow pretty much at the same time. And to keep each other company, they are kind of sharing the landing, and they are living one in front of the other. And I heard them talking through the landing, and I'm very curious. So I went and peeped a little bit, and I realized right away that could be the right situation, somehow the right device for me to tell the story of exclusion and self-censorship and love story and struggle that I had in mind, because it's a very at least at my mind at that point was a very simple and everyday life kind of metaphor, since the door that is always open then is always shut. It was very quick like that, but then it's 5 years of writing with my co-writer, and there are so many things that comes into it, people we know, people we met, people we find out while writing, and our life experience also, because 5 years, it's a span which things happening in your life also.
Is there anything in there that would surprise people that you're hoping audiences will catch that that's not as obvious? You know?
Oh, well, so many at the same time, so many things, and none of them, I hope, it is that clear. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm always, that's what I like about images, that they are ambiguous. They can, you know, the meaning of an image is it's a very strange and deep thing. But I don't know, there, you know, it's also a story about imposters. So we shot a lot of mirror, but you know, that's, you know, that kind of thing. When you say that, then it gets less interesting.
Yeah, well, you don't have to give it away. I was watching a lot of the cinematography, even as maybe the first shot where you're in the room behind the bed and you're looking through, it's almost like a voyeuristic looking through through the mirror to see this secret relationship that, you know, at that point was just being exposed.
It is also about keeping the distance. That was a very important thing. I was really concerned with my DOP about it. How do we keep the right distance? How do we either we are very, very close, and that was a very important thing, and we talked about it, Barbara, with Martine, the fact that we are going to shoot very extreme close-up. That was very important. They were, you know, trusting me enough on that, and also this thing of not pushing the pathos or the emotion or anything towards the audience, but creating a space, creating room for the audience to experience this love story, their intimacy, without being too much into it, without being, you know, it's a very thin line between being voyeuristic and exploiting something, and at the same time representing it rightfully, and that was the kind of concern we had while shooting.
I think you found a great balance there.
Thanks.
So Barbara, what is it about the role that drew you to it?
Well, it was a very good script. I usually, you know, for me, the script in total is very important. I you know, you can have a good role, but if it's a crappy script, you know, so it has to be a good script. It has to be a good director. It has to be the co-partners have to be good, because it's such a cooperation in a film. You know, it's just, you really do very little yourself. So I think everything, I really like the script, and I thought, I've never played this kind of relation. It was new for me. I had played a homoerotic, let's say, relation in Vision, Hildegard von Bingen, which is a 12th century nun, which was something completely different. But so, that it was just different from what I have played before. And I like the whole concept of that it's such a long love, that they have been together for such a long time. I asked myself, why? How did they manage to do that? Did the secret help? Did the secret destroy? I mean, I think the disease that happened has also to do with the secret, with a lot of repressed stuff. I was interested in the whole connection to the family, to the children, because I have children. So there were a lot of elements, and then I met Filippo, and always difficult and a risk to work with a first-time director, but I thought he was so invested in the whole project and knew so much about the characters, and I thought it was really interesting to have this perspective of a young man through his eyes, to see a love story of two older women.
And which kind of leads me to the next question. What is this story, a love story of women this age, allow you to explore that you couldn't explore if you're doing it with, you know, your typical 20-somethings you usually see?
Well, you know, there's I guess the weight of the past is something that is very interesting, because, you know, also it is a film about how we build ourselves somehow, and so when you are older, I guess you have so many things in your life that happen and that shaped you, and choices you made and choices you didn't make, and that adds a depth to it, which fascinate me since a long time, actually. So, and you know, I try to I realize that I tend to make films on things that are kind of haunting me, questioning me, and I tend to use cinema as a tool for knowledge. So maybe I want to know how am I gonna be in a few years. So I'm trying to make a film about it, and maybe I'll try to to foresee things. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just kidding. But you never know. You know why? But for sure, the weight of the past and the weight of choices at that age allowed me to I guess to go deeper into the different layers of which a love story is made, because I really had this idea of it's a love story, but love is a very complex feeling. And I guess Barbara can say about Nina, she has so many things in her love: secrecy, obsession, need for the other, lack of the other, meaning the body of the other, but also the soul of the other. There are so many things into a love story that are, the French has this word fleur bleue as the ideal love story, but love is not fleur bleue. It's a very, very different thing.
So, Barbara, your chemistry with Martine was quite natural, and you had these quiet, heartbreaking moments, and you had these big, loud, angry, and all these different range of emotions. Where did you draw that from? Is that something, was that your chemistry with her, or is it more internalized, that you pull up from within?
I think it's both. You always pull up things from within, because I mean, from where else would you pull it? And if you are working across a really good actress, with Martine is, and we both have theater experience, so we can access things, fairly reliably, fairly, not always, but so it works. And we both, Filippo had arranged a dinner for us before the movie, and we talked with each other very openly about love and about our experiences and about about all sorts of things, heartbreak and sexuality. We had to do this simply because we knew we did not have like a lot of rehearsals where we can experiment with different things. So that's where it came from.
So what has the reaction been to the film? Have you had a lot of people come up to you, a lot of viewers come up and express their connection to the story told?
Actually, before the pandemic, we had the chance to have 6 months of festival life in real person, because after that was just Zoom and virtual, and it's not the same at all. No. Really not the same. You lose all the nice part. But well, yeah. So the very moving thing for me was that I made this film. I started to work on the project like if it was probably in a little bit naive way, like if it was a private gesture, something that I did with two people in mind. And then the film is done, and you forgot about everything and why you did it, because you are taking care of making the film, basically, which takes all the strength and the energy that you might have. And then you start to screen the film, and you realize you made this film for so many other people, and people are touched by it. And I had so many, and that was so moving and so surprisingly moving for me, because it's my first feature, so I never had that kind of experience. So many people coming to me after the screenings and telling me their own story, which sometimes was very moving. I had one people in tears telling me about their daughter, or about their own love, or their I don't know. It was very, very, very moving, and that's a wonderful gift that I had with this film, since it took between the whole thing almost 7 years to get it done. And so it makes sense at the end, when because I make film to reach people, to touch people. That's why, to be in a dialogue with other people that I don't know, which I found amazing about cinema, so that was great, and a real gift.
Yeah, I realized after we had our first screening in Toronto, some people from the Middle East came up to me and said that they were so grateful for this film because in their countries they cannot live that, also their homosexual relationship. And I kind of became aware that there are still so many places in the world where you can do it. I remember when we were going to talk to the journalists in Russia, right? And the festival in Russia, and it was closed down under pretense of COVID, but other festivals, other things were open, and it's not seen to act very well, So that I realized that when I met the audience more than before.
It's amazing to me that this is a first time, feature film. When I saw that, I was like, that's incredible. Because of all the so many things you touch upon, not just the telling a story, but the visual storytelling and the direction with the actors. What were some of the challenges you had getting it to the screen? I know you said it was a seven-year journey, but also telling a story at that length.
There are so many challenges, and at the same time, I believe it all comes down to one. I believe. Okay, first of all, you have to make it through. You have to still be alive at the end of the shooting. That's the most important thing, because you can. we were short on budget, so it wasn't easy. But then I believe that's while making a picture, you go through so many things and tension, and you lack money, and it's raining and whatever else. And the difficult thing is to hold on to the real thing you want to say. I mean, to the real core of it, and not to lose that while you are going through all of this. Not how do I manage not to forget what really matters in every scene, in every, trying to hold on to something which has to bring me through it, and it has to come through at the end of the film to reach the audience. And that, I guess, was the thing I was really trying to stick to, and it wasn't, and hopefully that must be said. You are not making films alone. You have people around you, and they help you so much in so many respects. So, and that's important to be said.
So one of the great things about art is you did start this seed started on your own, and then other people joined in and watered it and helped it grow.
You see, then you have Barbara coming in and bringing all her talent, then you have Martine, and then you have Lea Drucker, and then you have my co-writer, the DOP, the set designer, and everybody brings something that I could never imagine.
And when all said and done, it's like the tree creates fruit, but everybody uses that fruit different. People are going to interpret it different and take different things away from it.
And it's also a human adventure, filmmaking. That's very interesting. You go through things and you meet people and you create relation. And, that's, I guess, why I'm not a writer, I mean, I love writing. I'm not good enough to be a writer. I don't have the discipline, but I enjoy the relation part. That's what to go with cinema.
Just one last question. What is it that you hope people take away from this film, both of you personally?
I let Barbara go first on this.
Well, I hope, well, first, of course, I hope that people are touched and engaged. And I hope that if people, for example, still have resentments or against this kind of love, that they open themselves up to the story and maybe question their own ideas about things. And otherwise, I just hope that they enjoy it and realize that, I think you said it, or Filippo said it in the beginning, that you have to do the things you want to do. You don't know what curveball life is throwing you, in this case, stroke. So if you have things that you want to do or that you want to live, do them.
I know she would say something very wise, as always. So that's why, that's a strategy. I just want one thing to add. I agree completely to what Barbara said, and just I would like people to feel more empathy toward other people. That you know, no matter.
We need it. We definitely need that in this world.
I believe so. In this moment, we need it so
Yeah.
much. So if that helps, you know, whatever helps
Yeah.
to get
Hey, you know
there.
what? It does help. It does help. Film
Okay,
opens eyes. Film takes you across the world into rooms we weren't in before, into relationships, and film is that that way to transport into
You're right.
different worlds.
You're right.
Thank you so much for your time, and
Thanks to
best
you.
of luck with this going forward.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. It was a pleasure.